Welcome everyone to the Omniverse of Nick, where we are getting into part 13 of What If Daryl Died Instead of Merle. And today is a little bit of a biggie, not gonna lie, because of what happens. But before we get into that, do not forget to smash that like button and hit the subscribe button. Not smash the subscribe button. I know I've said that a lot, but that's kind of goofy. I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, yeah, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, so you can help this channel grow and make it even more awesome. Now, let's get into the episode. Amanda has just arrived back at Washington with Regina and Jed and all those saviors on her tail. Abraham, Rosita, Eugene, as well as Gareth and Noah all greet her at the front entrance of the big building and everything. Like just the entrance of that place. You know what I'm talking about. And are very confused as to why she pretty much just wheeled in here like at the top speed and is on a random bike. They don't even get to ask questions yet because Amanda is like, we gotta get our stuff and get out of here. Like, we gotta go. That place you were talking about, Abraham, Woodbury and all that, with those people, yeah, we need to go there, like, now. And Abraham tells her, Amanda, calm down. You are being really crazy right now. But before he can even get out, like, more of calming her down and everything and trying to assess the situation or calm down the situation, he notices something else. Dawn and literally all the other officers are not there. And now they're all curious, like, what happened? Like, they went out and were supposed to get stuff and find stuff. What happened? And then Amanda finally calms down and is like, explains the whole deal of finding this place, the sanctuary, O'Donnell going crazy, and her booking it out of there. She doesn't know what happened after that, but as far as she's concerned, everyone there could be in big trouble or maybe coming back. She doesn't know. All she knows is that she might have people on her tail now and doesn't even know that if she was tailed or not. But she doesn't really care. What she does know is they need to find that town, Woodbury, and get those people that Abraham and them were talking about on their side. Because from what she could pinpoint, the men that O'Donnell fired at and killed most of before she booked it, there's a lot more. And Dawn and her people could be very well in trouble or dead. So they need to go to Woodbury, get those people on their side, and rescue Dawn and the cops if they're even alive. Abraham looks into the distance and can vaguely hear vehicles, bikes coming straight this way. It's in the distance, but they can still hear it. And Abraham confirms, yeah, she is being followed. And Abraham forever wanted to put off going to Woodbury because of them kicking him, Rosita, and Eugene out from trying to save the world. But now, it's even more justifiable. They've lost many of their leverage with Dawn and the cops. They have people on their trail, a big group, and Washington was a dunce. So, honestly, he really just agrees they have to go to Woodbury. So Rosita is very happy that Abraham finally came up to this. But Eugene says the plan won't work because if there are people coming this way, they could just track them back to Woodbury, and that could bring that whole group there. So, going to Woodbury like this, it can't be like that. And I'm taking a little bit of a nod, not so much when I made this certain part of the project, but now I think it's very poetic. When Rick and Michonne blew up the CRM, I'm going to take a little bit of a nod and say Eugene's going to think of a plan similar. Even though, you know, whenever I wrote the spin-off end of this project, I really didn't see that episode yet. It wasn't even out. But point is, Eugene says that if they are able to make a distraction, blow up the entire area here when the Saviors get here as a trap, that explosion will be enough of a distraction for not only them to escape fully to Woodbury without getting anyone on their tail, but it will make sure that the Saviors who are coming here are dealt with and they won't be tracked. Amanda still says that that's a good plan, but then someone would need to be the mastermind behind it. And out of the blue, Gareth says he will. This job is basically the best that he can do. It's his true way of showing that he's changed, because Amanda being in charge and Dawn and Abraham, well, Dawn and Amanda specifically, wanted him to change his ways and do something for the good of the group here. And this is his way of doing that. He'll plant all the bombs with a little help, of course, before they leave. And he will be the one to stay behind, ignite the bombs, and make sure that all of them get out safely. This is his true redemption factor. And everyone admits that this is a very good plan. Even though Amanda would like to stay behind and take full control of this situation because Gareth was her priority, she admits that Gareth doing this, admitting to his faults, even though they don't know about the cannibalism, and everything like that, is the true way to leave him to his own devices. Abraham admits that Gareth has done good since they put him under and everything, and, you know, shot off his fingers and all that, and says that this is a good plan and hopefully not botch it up, and they wish him good luck before they book it out of there. Soon enough, Jed and all the Saviors with Regina's group show up, and Gareth is there to greet them, smiling smugly and saying that the people that they're looking for are long gone by this point, and that they made a big mistake coming here and thinking that they're gonna kill anyone, including himself. And Regina and the other Saviors ask smugly, why is that? And Gareth, in the darkest and best moment I can make Gareth's character, says to them all, because now you're all going to die with me. And straight at that moment, suddenly, all of the Saviors there begin to catch flame. Because all around the area, I'm talking this big building of Washington's, which you guys know from obviously real life and in The Walking Dead, it's big. And before Abraham and them left, and while Gareth was still there before the Saviors got there, pipe bombs were planted all across this big, huge building. Huge. And 100 of them. So, them catching flames, an explosion goes off. And because it's 100 pipe bombs, and this was a very laid out and constructive plan, this means that the explosion is going to be so massive, so fiery. This is probably the biggest explosion ever to occur in a Walking Dead or any of my stories. Abraham and all them can see it. Everyone at Woodbury can see it, including Merle, because, yeah, it's big, but I'm going to get to that more in a minute. Negan and all the Saviors at the Sanctuary can see it. Everyone at all the other communities around the area can see it. Hilltop, the Kingdom, Alexandria, and I would mention Oceanside and the Junkyard, but they're going to play into a big effect with the Merle and Beta spinoff, but I would be spoiling if I said any more. And speaking of Beta, a certain growing Whisperer group sees the explosion too. And this would be the beginning phases of that certain Whisperer group, and it's starting to pull their horde in. And they have to try really hard to keep it contained, like really hard. Because this, if I wasn't being obvious enough, a very massive explosion. Anyway, now Negan and the Saviors know without a doubt that Regina and all those Saviors are dead. They did have help after all. And Negan should have honestly expected this. And it is a bummer to have lost those Saviors that one cop he killed, O'Donnell, killed. And now Regina, one of his main men, and a bunch of her men are dead. That puts a little bit of a strain on the Savior portion here. But even if they have help, and even if the Saviors there are dead in this huge explosion and everything, they still have the leverage if they return and try to wage a fight. Because Don and the rest of the cops are still under his control. So he has the leverage still. But Dawn, she has a new sense of hope. Because now that she knows that explosion came from Washington, she knows that this was most likely down to quick planning on the likes of Amanda and everyone there. And now, even though she knows nothing about Woodbury, she just heard talk of it, she can only speculate what happens next. Meanwhile, her and the rest of the cops are just putty in Negan's hands. Meanwhile, at Woodbury, with everyone's eyes near the smoke and noise of this huge explosion from Washington's area, they hear another noise at the gates. A car screeching and skidding to a halt right at the gates of their town. And a bunch of footsteps and yelling and everything like that. And then all they hear next is a furious pounding at their gates. Like, this is big. This could be enough to shatter like 3 doors. That's how hard the knocking is. And this would be a bunch of stuff in the span of like not even a day. So like a few hours. Martinez comes to the gates because there's obviously there with a few other people. And he's like, what's going on? But he doesn't even get to finish that sentence because Abraham is the one who's furiously pounding at the door. And he's saying, let us in right now and get Merle out here. Everyone that you can. And he's not playing games. And soon enough, Merle does come out. But how will Merle and everyone react to Abraham and them showing up now, with Noah and Amanda being the only new factors, with Dawn and everybody else either dead or kidnapped? Will they actually join now that Washington is a dunce? And will they join in the fight against Negan to rescue Dawn and all the cops? Or is Merle's stubbornness in keeping Woodbury his only matter just the only matter? But with the big explosion and everything in hand, I bet you guys can infer that things will definitely change with the perspective going forward. But that's all for now, and I will see you guys next time. You guys didn't think this was the end of the video, did you? Well, the Omniverse of Nick has a new feature. A sneak peek at what's next to arrive.